for those 1,200 or whatever there is. They work for those people. They work for the people that literally dump shit into the water supply. If you and I dump shit into a water supply, we are fucking terrorists and we are going to jail for the rest of our lives. They do it. They pay a fine. They don't clean up. The government makes us pay for it because those are the people, those fucking assholes are the ones that sign their goddamn checks. And every once in a while, you have a politician who will actually try and stand up against those cunts. And that person is immediately labeled a communist or a socialist. And for whatever reason, liberals and conservatives, you know, people that are loyal to those parties.
I'm losing my fucking mind, dude. He is spitting so much. And I'm just saying, listen, this is my new fetish. Please, directly in my mouth, sir. Okay? Please. What the fuck?
Just believe it. I mean, you look at Bernie Sanders and the shit that guy wanted to do. Like, the Democrats literally boxed that guy out and gave the nomination to Hillary Clinton. They've done it to him twice. And the liberals on the left spoke and said, this is the person we want. And they fucking ignored it because all of them are on the fucking take, just like all the ones on the right are on the take, probably except for a handful of them. So that's basically...
For the record, this might be new to some of you, but Bill Burr has always been like this. I've literally told you that Bill Burr has been like this. I've just never seen him I've never actually seen him like speak this openly about it, though, ideologically speaking. And he's always been like this. He's always talked about how like fucked up capitalism is without like mentioning capitalism as much, or socialism or communism. Bill Burr is always says shit like this.
What it is. You know, it is what it is. What the fuck are you going to do? You know, whoever organizes the thing someday, who's way smarter and knows how to do it, I will join that to try and fight it. But until they do, I'm not going on a Reddit page and just sit there talking about gloom and doom with a bunch of other people with no fucking solutions, because you slowly go insane. So, you know, I think the only way to combat this type of stuff is you really have to work on yourself to become a better person, a more empathetic person. And, you know, as I'm sitting there calling somebody a squat twat on this fucking thing. But like, you know, all of this shit that they stir up your feelings about other countries or the racist that Trump stirs up. You know what I mean? These fucking, like, just straight up people that walk around saying the fucking N-word and shit. And like, you really have...
These are verbatim bars, dude. Okay? These are verbatim designated. I mean, I don't own these words, obviously. Okay? I don't own these words, but these are exactly the same thoughts that I've had and have talked about so many fucking times. It's so good.
You have to try and not listen to those people and get caught under their fucking bullshit, because they don't have your best interest. And, you know, Hillary Clinton, I don't think there's no difference. She's just as evil as Trump. She's just smarter. She just knows how to say what she's saying. You know, but you know what she's doing, okay? Look, you know, I don't want to get into this shit, but like, you know, that shit that people are saying online going, hey, so you got the Epstein guy and you got the person that booked the island, but what about that list of people, of all the people that went there? And they're protecting those people. And they got rid of the people that were going to expose them. I mean, it's really not conspiracy theory. It's kind of right there if you want to see it. Yeah, and you know, liberals love a guy that, I got to be careful so I don't get in trouble, but like, liberals love a guy that like went there allegedly like 20 fucking times. They still love the guy. They love a guy that drone bombed weddings. So like, I don't see them as liberal, progressive fucking people. And then on the right, you know, what they're showing me is fucking.
Okay, a little bit of stream. drop for a second. I mean, he's blasting Obama too. People, especially men, tend to have their final ideological consolidation during the middle age crisis, and some take it with more dignity than others. And as a contrast between two people in the same profession going through the phase, you got Chappelle and you got Burr. I mean, I think Bill Burr is on his George Carlin arc, whereas Dave Chappelle went in the exact opposite direction and like heavily leaned into the mania that comes along with being deified. You know what I mean? I think like what you're talking about, I wouldn't say is like a middle age arc or anything like that, but there comes a point in people's lives when you are so famous and so rich and have so much complete total financial security that you either go the route of like, how dare anybody criticize me? I'm sick and tired of this shit. I hate it. I'm going to do anything and everything I can to like destroy my enemies. Okay? And plenty of it, the easier route, the logical route is the one where you have capital and therefore align with other capital owners and do everything in your power to continue just eroding the part of you that once recognized that you yourself were a worker and once wanted a better future for others. You know what I mean? Because comedians oftentimes want that, whether it's their own social group. I didn't blast off. I'm gonna blast off right now. Actually, let me just blast off real quick, and then we'll get into it a little bit more. Dave Chappelle's the most overrated stand-up comedian of all time. He's not even in the top 10. That's false. That's crazy. You're out of your mind. Dave Chappelle literally is one of the greatest comedians of our generation up until his last stuff. That's crazy to say. I'm sorry. Is Bill Burr your favorite comedian? I mean, Bill Burr's always been in my top, but he's certainly... Dave Chappelle has always been one of, and still, because of his older work, he's still in the top. His older work still keeps him alive. Anyway, for some more incredible takes. Controversy. Brandon goes to Florida. Wait, you're saying Bill Burr went the cancel culture comedy route? Yeah, well, first through patients. Still going. Get in now. $80-year-old man going to Florida is not news. No, it is newsworthy. He literally has talked both sides on the cancel culture issue. I've heard him openly mention the cancel culture is not real shit. As I have also heard him mention that cancel culture is fucking annoying, like he talked about in his latest special. But the reality is that, like, he doesn't make it his entire identity. You know what I mean? And I think that's fine. I mean, I talk about cancel culture too. Cancel culture fucking sucks. Nobody likes it. It's not a real thing, but nobody fucking likes it. Everybody does it. Nobody likes it. Okay? Oh my God, that's such a good Geraldo fucking meme chatter. Thank you, AZT Atlantean. All right, here it is. Blast off. Juice this, boys. Our numbers are low. We need to juice it. We need to let the people know. I don't know how people still can't comprehend that, like, the cancellation stuff only fucking works if you are canceled by your own team, okay? And conservatives do a lot to never cancel their own team. Liberals, on the other hand, love canceling their own team. And that's pretty much it. Like, everybody does it. Conservatives recognize it better and weaponize it better. But because it's always like liberals who are often doing the cancellation, ultimately, right? That's the reason why people think it's just libs doing it. Why not at Bill Burr? Nobody has ever been canceled. It's just whining. That's not true. There are people that have been legitimately cast aside, deplatformed, that sort of thing. You say that. I think I have more experience, quote unquote, being canceled than anyone else. So yeah, I know. You know what I mean? As an online commentator, people still regularly do it. People will act like they don't know my old takes, like the Lady Gaga transphobic joke that I made 10 fucking years ago, when it's literally something I use in my teachable moment about transphobia and how I had transphobic thoughts and how I got through it in my never-ending quest to get people to change their attitudes about certain things that they're bigoted on. Like, they do it all the time. And it doesn't matter because everybody knows it already. Like, everybody knows it. I've talked about it. I've grown, you know what I mean? And I think you can too. I use that as an opportunity to educate other people. But they still do it. They do it all the fucking time. You know what I mean? I like how they thought they were sleuths showing that clip when you've showed it on stream yourself. So that's the point, though. It's just like, it's bullshit. These are all, people try to cancel me for buying a Gucci shirt. You know what I mean? People do it all the time, but it's not a real thing. It's not a real concept. I have only grown. Since all of those controversies that have happened. You know what I mean? Dalia got fucked. I may be wrong, but I thought he disproved all the grooming underage allegations, but no one cared. Damage was already done. Dude, what? No, he didn't. What? Brother, that's not true. I think you got duped into thinking that was the case. He did not disprove anything, bro. He just went, got a wife, and, you know, kept his head down. So, what was I saying? Oh, as far as like cancel culture or whatever the fuck goes, like, there are great examples of that. I'm going to finish the Bill Burr clip in a second. I'm going to actually give it a better take. I'm going to give it a better spin. I'm going to look at it again now that we blasted off and we got invited the Normans and stuff into our home. Like, people will sometimes get deplatformed. Okay. And and it is a very successful method of like stopping the spread of ideas that are awful. Okay. And it's a last ditch effort. It's like the biggest measure that you can engage in. Right. And it's incredibly successful here. Look no further than Andrew Tate, obviously. Friend of the show, Andrew Tate, is a great example of this. As my man was exploding in popularity, he was blasting. and he peaked, and now he's fucking fizzling out. You know what I mean? He's still higher than his starting point when he first skyrocketed into success, but he got deplatformed. And look at him now, right? People don't fucking viciously defend him like they once did. Didn't you debate him right around that date? Yeah, I debated him when he peaked a little bit, and then, boom. Cancel culture is just a vague way of describing whether a person is still marketable. We've had so many fucking times. We've had this conversation so many fucking times. You know what I mean? So many times. About cancel culture and whatever. Everybody does it. Everybody weaponizes it. A lot of people do it in a really disingenuous way. But it's not necessarily it's just not. And I repeat, it's not a one-side thing. Everybody does it. It's not new. I don't know why, like, this iteration of it was more, had more sticking power, I guess. This iteration, calling it cancel culture, had more staying power. And it was made permanent, basically. But ultimately, okay, it's not a real thing. You can get deplatformed, but outside of that, outside of getting completely deplatformed, most of the time you can bounce back, and many do. Okay? Thanks for the raid. Michael from Pennsylvania, a.k.a. Central Committee. Hope you had a good stream. For most of my life, I've been canceling shit that I don't fuck with anymore. Yeah. Why is Biden such a fucking pussy? If the Saudis won't pump more, lol, let's start arming the Houthis. They're a fucking client state. How do they get away with this shit? I mean, while I was showering this morning listening to NPR talk about this, I quite literally had a similar opinion where I was like, why don't they just fucking give weapons to Iran? Just give, or fuck the weapons to Iran thing. Just like, put together the old denuclearization agreement, lift the embargo, and let Iran thrive. You know what I mean? Let fucking Iran thrive, motherfucker. What's going on? Let Venezuela and Iran thrive, okay? Like kings. Let them fly. Give them weapons, give them support, get their fucking oil. If you're that desperate to suck the earth of its delicious juices, then, there's plenty of avenues we can go to that we've shut off effectively from the market. Israel got to love that plant. Yeah, I mean, I'm joking. That's never going to happen. Israel would never allow that to happen. That's pure delusion. Every modern U.S. president has bowed to the Saudi crown. I mean, not bowed, but like, we give them weapons. We allow them to fucking do genocide in Yemen. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot that Saudi Arabia kind of relies on us on too. It's this weird partnership. It's this weird partnership because we're going to talk about OPEC Plus in a second. Fuck. Let me wrap this cancel culture thing up. Okay, everybody does it. Everyone has shortcomings. Everyone has what I like to call privilege blind spots. Okay, there's an intersectionality of privilege. Most of you don't recognize it. The best thing you can do is work on those privileges and recognize that sometimes you might have a blind spot for things that for issues that certain marginalized communities go through. It's a fundamental part of my commentary and my belief system. Talk about it all the time. Cancel culture ultimately is just weaponization of those weaknesses, those blind spots, and those imperfections, as though like the individual doing the canceling or whatever doesn't have those. Of course they do, and no one is infallible, no one is perfect, and in a weird way, it is hyper capitalism because we as individuals, as human beings, are supposed to be fucking corporations at this point. The wokeness or woke culture is a commoditization of social justice, and it's the expectation that like individuals are supposed to behave like corporate brands. It's another way to dull political perspectives. Obviously, on the one side, it dulls like reactionary political perspectives, which I'm in favor of, right? But also, it will oftentimes be used against people who speak out against the current hierarchy, like myself. Been canceled more times than all of your fucking favorite content creators. Let's be real, okay? And over idiotic, dumb, nonsensical bullshit. But it doesn't really matter. Why? Because most people still recognize that, hey, if you're quote unquote being canceled for some fucking bullshit, then you're not actually canceled. You can only be canceled by your own side. Okay? You can only be canceled by your own side, but you can only be canceled by your own fans. As long as you still have fans, as long as you're still churning out content, as long as you're still, doing whatever the fuck you were doing that got you to the place you were at, you're not going to really get canceled unless you get canceled by the government, in which case you've done a crime and you're probably going to jail. So that's it. Also, we are a vindictive society and have been programmed to be so because of our prison and justice system. Absolutely. We are incredibly draconian. We are incredibly fucking draconian and awful.
Man, I'm on my way to go smoke.
And that absolutely has like a that absolutely has an impact on our personal day-to-day business and the way that we conduct ourselves. And it's fucking awful. That's why I always talk about how I lead with empathy, even for those who have wronged others, and that people will literally weaponize that against me. My genuine perspective on life, people will use against me to say, "Listen, you're a fucking coward. You should be like going balls to the wall, going ham on motherfuckers." Okay, I have a really high bar, especially for people I know, but even for people I don't know. A very, very, very high bar to clear for me to completely write someone off. Like, insanely fucking high bar. And the reason for that is because I understand that we are all imperfect vessels. Okay? I also personally talk about how on the left we should try to conduct ourselves in a more open-minded capacity. Okay? Because this kind of like, oh no, I'm going to immediately pull up the receipts and go, this you, or whatever the fuck, that ultimately makes us seem unapproachable. And for the Normans, that makes us look really fucking shitty. Okay? And that's no way to bring up the numbers in your ranks. You always want to be trying to grow your community and trying to get people to join your side. If you think that your battle is just, if you truly believe in what you say, then you want others to also believe in what you're saying, and you want others to fight for you. Okay? You want others to fight alongside you. And that will never be accomplished if you're constantly in the business of screaming at people who would otherwise be your fucking allies. Anyway. Yes, this is the morally correct political group. No, you are not allowed to join. Yeah, like Bill Burr is a great example of this. An imperfect person, okay? He has some fucking takes that are garbo. Like you do with chatters. Brother, there are more reformed right-wingers in this community than any other fucking community. Especially when I say reform, I don't mean like... I don't personally mean reform to like believe in, some other form of reactionary politics, but like truly, genuinely going from being transphobic to not being transphobic, to actively fighting against transphobia, being racist to not being racist, and actively fighting against racism, becoming anti-racist. There are a lot of fucking people in this community that have gone through that personally, okay? So this notion that I just like am draconian to chatters is silly, especially considering that I do have an ultimate goal here. And that goal is to educate as many people as possible in an entertaining capacity. And I'm not going to be able to achieve that if people are using the democratic process that I've set here, the back and forth conversation that you can have with a large streamer doing political commentary, which you can't get anywhere else. If people are going to abuse that system by routinely derailing the conversation and regularly trying to say idiotic things to stunlock me, then in order to continue the conversation forward, I'm going to sometimes block people. But we always give you the capacity to get unblocked. You just have to, or unbanned. You just have to reach out to the moderators and understand what you have done was wrong. But a lot of people don't want to go through that process because they think they're in the right and they're like, no, I just still want to fucking derail the convo. Fuck you. And there are plenty of people in this community that speak out against me and have a different perspective than me. And I don't fucking block them or ban them or anything like that. Especially if they fucking conduct themselves in a responsible manner. Faustini is a great example. The fact that I'm still unbanned is proof you don't ban like crazy. I'm a 20-month live and still here, never banned. Yeah. There are plenty of people that I don't ban because their goal isn't necessarily to derail and like say idiotic things like, well, you say you're a socialist. Why don't you give all of your money to me right now? You know what I mean? That they think that that's a gotcha, right? But that's not the fucking case, obviously. Like, it's just an idiotic thing that I have to address a million times over. Okay? And when you get banned, you just can't chat. That's it. It's not the end of the world. I'm not fucking stopping you from watching the content. Okay? You just can't chat. That's it. Anyway, but let's get back to Bill Burr. Yesterday, we watched a video of him going fucking balls to the wall with some crazy takes, destroying a fan of his that had some really awful takes about him talking about socialism. And there's more. Here's another older clip that Zay Squirrel brought up. Here it is. When Bill Maher's show that joined his ritual rage whining about woke cancel culture, but instead instead of going along with Maher, Burr mocks him and says he's been a hysterical freak.
You know, I've always enjoyed you. I think you're a great comic. But I thought tonight maybe we would like sort of share a cry together because I think we have something in common, which is that we think political correctness may be ruining comedy, or at least threatening it. Because I know you've had your problems with that. And you did a routine recently about how women like it rough. And then, of course, the internet police got all over you.
Well, I gotta be honest with you, I didn't notice if that happened because I don't pay attention to it. I don't read comments.
Happened. Yeah, they hated you.
Yeah, but who did?
The
This
haters.
is my thing. Who? Like
The
20
haters.
people? Like 20 people with a hashtag can get like a news story going now. And I just don't think there's no problem. Like the amount of times somebody tells a joke and they'll say that there's a controversy at a comedy club. That's funny is they'll show the clip on the news and like you hear the crowd laughing. So the comic is basically guilty of telling a joke that worked.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then if you put it on the news, yeah, it's going to be a completely different context. But I mean, I don't go on stage and worry about what people are thinking.
Right.
It's a really weird time where people are just bringing this up all the time like this is a major problem. I'm not experiencing it. I think it's like a half a dozen stories. And like usual, they're trying to act like, you know, the sky is falling. It isn't. It's a fun time. Come out to a comedy club. You know, you'll have a good time. It's all jokes.
Right. And to undergo that, I mean, Chris Rock says he won't play colleges anymore because they're too politically correct. Daniel.
You just ignore them. It's like 3 days. They flip out for 3 days. They try to bully you into an apology.
Well, you can't ignore them when they're right in the audience and you're playing to them.
You tell them to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, believe me.
It's a comedy
you know what?
show. That's all you do. It's like
Sweetheart, I do it here every week.
it's
you don't have to tell me.
manufactured strategic outrage.
Right. Then forget it. Let's not have a good cry together. But as long
that
as
not
we're-
what you wanted out of that?
As long as we're on the subject.
Look at him. He's just fucking bouldering him. Yeah, that's not what you want out of that. Remember he talked about Kenosha. He talked about Kyle Rittenhouse being a fucking freak. He was right about that too. And he's still fucking daggering with some truth bombs here where he talks about Hillary Clinton.
But like,
This is from his latest Monday morning podcast on Monday. How are ya? Bill, old Billy bitch tits talking about cancer culture. No, not this time, sweetheart. Sherry's Berries. Welcome back to the Monday morning podcast on Monday. At the top of the hour, there's a 60-second ad break. And if you no longer want to see those ads, guess what? All you need to do is subscribe, huh? Some of you motherfuckers don't want to do that, and that's fine. But you're going to see an ad. Womack for the 10 gifted subs, allowing 10 guys to no longer see the ads either. You just sound like the mom from Bob's Burgers. You'll have him on in no time. Dude, the only reason why I can do a decent Bill Burr impression is because I'm a fan. What do you mean? Zip Recruiter. All right. I'm running the fucking ad break now. You kind of just sound like him already too, Lamau. Sometimes I hear Bill Burr when you're getting fired up. If you could do a casual impression without raising your volume so much, it would make the shouting off mic bit absolutely perfect. Yeah. Anyway, did you cover the Ukrainian war already? Wait, what? Brother, I've been covering it every day. I'm going to talk about Iran today, too, because I heard some fucking insane shit. All right.
you know, all of this shit that they stir up your feelings about other countries or the racist that Trump stirs up. You know what I mean? These fucking, like, just straight up people that walk around saying the fucking N-word and shit. And, like, you really have to try and not listen to those people and get caught under their fucking bullshit because they don't have your best interest. And Hillary Clinton, I don't think there's no difference. She's just as evil as Trump. She's just smarter. She just knows how to say what she's saying. But you know what she's doing, okay? Look, I don't want to get into this shit, but like, that shit that people are saying online going, hey, so you got the Epstein guy and you got the person that booked the island, but what about that list of people, of all the people that went there? And they're protecting those people. And they got rid of the people that were going to expose them. I mean, it's really not conspiracy theory. It's kind of right there if you want to see it. Liberals love a guy that, I got to be careful so I don't get in trouble, but like liberals love a guy that like went there allegedly like 20 fucking times. They still love the guy. They love a guy that drone bombed weddings. So like, I don't see them as liberal, progressive fucking people. And then on the right, what they're showing me is fucking toothless racist. So I don't even know where the fuck I stand right now. But, they can't stop me from enjoying my day and trying to be a nice person and enjoying being a father. If that's what you want to do, you want to stick all my money on my phone and fucking control where I spend it, fine. Does that make you happy? Does that make you dick hard? I don't give a fuck. Because life is flying by and all you can't stop time, All you can do is enjoy yourself. So just don't be a cunt. There's a fucking line weight in it. Fucking asshole. All right. 1970s commercials. Hi, Bill. We are roughly the same age, and I figured 1975 would be some of our earliest memories of commercials, and I was right. See how many of these things ring.
Okay, none of this implies that I'm actually gonna. I mean, he's just saying the exact same things that I've said time and time again, chatter, but this doesn't mean that he's gonna come on the show. I thought he like openly was talking about like this fucking guy on Twitter. He just performed for a charity event my girlfriend was involved in, and he bombed and got pissed off at the audience for not laughing. Hey, listen, again, not everyone is perfect. Like, of course, he's going to have some imperfections, brother. Like, what the fuck do you mean? Bill Burr punched me in the mouth and called me a loser for watching HasanAbi real. Maybe Ethan can help after his interview. I don't know if he has that connection anymore. No, Ethan literally had another one where he was actually fine. I think like he did two. He did two. And that's it. Anyway, here, let's continue. Bill was on H3 4 and 3 years ago. Yeah, he's done two. The second one was better, apparently. They were way more like agreeable with one another. Ron DeSantis, dude, what a bad bitch, okay? What a fucking bad bitch. All right, this is the real photo. This is the fake one.